taking a walk this morning. I wanted to do this video. It was going to be more of a rant because this is like a pet peeve I got. But really, I wanted to speak on it really quick and give 3 reasons instead of making a rant. Just make it like a quick talk. Now, gentrification, all my since I started learning about these things and entering college, you always hear black people talking about gentrification and they're gentrifying the community. And I would hear it and you kind of go along with it because you're like, okay, yeah, gentrification is supposed to be bad. But I never fully understood why it was bad. And then later on, or no, I'm not going to say never. At first I didn't, right? And I just would roll with it. Then I came to understand what it really was. And then I'm just like, okay, so what exactly, how exactly should I feel about it? It was always something that was confusing. And just to put a quick, definition out there, gentrification is essentially where you have a group of people who are being forced out of an area by people who are developing or people who want to move into that area, make changes that raise up the cost of value, the value of that area, and it prices out the people who have been there for years. So they end up having to leave the area. That's essentially what gentrification is. So, and black people always complain about this. And I wanted to give 3 reasons why I think black people should stop complaining about gentrification. All right. So number one thing we got to realize that it's like we fail to realize you cannot stop progress. You cannot stop progress. We have a lot of people who are anti-tech. I remember hearing one of these guys that were saying instead of investing in these machines and this technology, we should be giving people, the humans, those jobs so that they could do it. Just this type of thinking. Look, let's counteract the tech so that more people, let's artificially hold back the technology so that more people can benefit from it, more people can have jobs. But these kind of things don't work because when technology comes out, people are going to flow in that direction. And even if you artificially hold it back, other people are just going to beat you out. So there's certain things in no field, in no way in life, you cannot stop progress. You can't hold that back. You're either going to get with it or you're going to get left behind, right? So number one, if I can remember the 3. Number 1, you can't stop progress. All right. Number 2, change is a good thing. So if you've been sitting in an area for 60 years and you haven't made anything fruitful out of the situation, it can't hurt you to have change. People, they look at American politics, they talk about, well, if we do this, America might go into ruin or America might do into anything. You're the low man, black man. You're the low man, black woman. You're on the bottom. So if we have a bunch of chaos and a change and a restructuring of things, you only stand to benefit from that because you're on the bottom, right? So change is good. If you've been in Compton for all these years and it hasn't worked out for you and somebody comes and happens to gentrify it or whatever to change things up, if you've been in these areas and it hasn't worked out, change can you only got up to go. So change is a good thing. So I wouldn't be so resistant to think oh man, I've been sitting here and, now they want to gentrify and all of that stuff, right? And just another side note too, most of the memories and the things that people are trying to hold on to that are there, it's like a bunch of negative shit anyway. It's nothing really positive, right? Bringing me on to my 3rd and final reason, and really the biggest reason for me. You're not doing shit anyway. You're not doing nothing anyway. So when people are talking about, yeah, man, they gentrifying the community, man, you believe this shit, man? Been over here for 30 years, you know what I'm saying? I seen this, we got into jump. I got jumped right here. The gangs used to be over here. I'm like, bro, your memories is a bunch of negativity, a bunch of negative shit, right? No institutional building, no home ownership on the level that it should be at. Nothing really going on. So it's like, if you're not doing anything anyway, what the fuck difference does it make if you don't do nothing where you are or if you get gentrified to not do nothing somewhere else? I do not understand the difference. If you don't care to build anything, get the hell out of the way for the people who can, because you could sit around and be stagnant anywhere, right? You could sit around and be stagnant anywhere. So I don't understand the purpose of complaining about that. If you don't have any, if you didn't want to own your home anyway, and then the rent prices get pushed up, you've been sitting here for 20 years, what the hell you been doing all this time? Why don't you own your home if you really feel that strong about it? Why don't you have any institutions in this place if you really feel that strong about it? Why aren't you even pushing toward that? That's what I'm not understanding. So you're not doing anything anyway. So you may as well let the gentrification come through and do nothing and remain stagnant in another area. Because somebody like me, if I got plans and I want to do something and I see a bunch of lazy kind of, it's whatever, laissez-faire people just sitting around, like, you could sit around somewhere else. Get the fuck out the way and let me build something right here. That's how I'm looking at it. So now I'm looking at that, and then I'm putting myself in the position of these other people who see opportunity gentrifying your so-called community. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Be mad at that? I understand that. If from the outside looking in, it might be racist, it might not be. From the outside looking in, you see a bunch of people, they're not doing nothing. You got opportunity here. They can do nothing somewhere else. I don't see why they're not going to jump on that opportunity. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to get on here too long. Like I said, the 3 reasons: you cannot stop progress, you can't stop innovation, you can't stop that. That money is going to be made if the opportunity is there. So don't complain about it. Figure out how to roll with it. Number 2, change is a good thing. Change is a good thing. You've been sitting in Compton, you've been sitting in East Oakland for all these years, and you haven't made nothing of it. It may be a better situation for you to go somewhere else, start from the bottom with a different mentality and actually build something. And number 3, you ain't doing shit anyway. So get the hell out the way and do nothing somewhere else. And when you figure it out, maybe you can jump in the game instead of sitting around on the sideline complaining about the game. So those are the 3 reasons I think black people should stop complaining about gentrification. I got a comment. I'm gonna read this real quick. He said, there are people all over the nation trying to build up these black and Latino folks. When you understand how the infrastructure of the ghettos you can understand why people are trying to bring forth change. I do agree, not enough people are in the movement to make change. I disagree that with empowering white people to take over our place as well. Well, I'm not empowering them to do anything. You're empowering them with your inaction. You see what I'm saying? If you're not doing anything and there's opportunity where you're sitting, it's just a matter of time before people come to where you are. That's just the way it is. If you're sitting on a gold mine, if I'm sitting here, I'm sitting on a gold mine, not doing anything with it. It's just a matter of time before somebody comes. So with me saying this, see, black people, we're so, we worried about what people say, right? So we're worried about people saying, oh man, you're waiting for a white man to say that they're racist. You're waiting for somebody to say that, hey, come take over this community. The actions are already showing it. These people are doing it. They don't have to say anything. They're going to just gentrify your community. We probably made that word up, gentrify. That's like a victim mentality. Like, oh yeah, man, I'm getting gentrified. Instead of thinking about what you're doing to create the environment for you to be gentrified. It's hard to gentrify a group of people who have a mind state that they are of ownership, a mind state of building. Because when you come to gentrify it, someone's already doing something. It makes it a lot harder to do something there. But when you're sitting in an area, you're not doing anything, it's easy for people to take that over because there's no action there. There's nothing going on there, and it's ripe for opportunity. So it's easy to take something over when people aren't doing anything. And then we go back to this whole thing of like, black people, we got to kind of, it's like, I understand the historical thing. So people talk about how these ghettos came to become made. What Sharice is saying is a fact. These ghettos were manufactured. We were warehoused and pushed into certain areas and treated differently in these areas. There is a historical basis for what she's saying. A lot of these ghettos do become those ghettos in that way. But whether or not you were pushed or not, or whether or not it was manufactured or not, right? Your mentality dictates how you respond to that. Right? So if your mentality, like for instance, what I was saying a minute ago, if someone wants to build something where you are, right, but you're already building, it makes them harder to do that. But if you're not building and your mentality is that it's okay, it makes it easier for you to push, and you don't push back, and you stay stagnant for many, many years after these historical things that I'm saying. We're talking about shit that happened in the 60s and the 70s that led to us being in these things. It's 2020. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about things decades ago. I'm not necessarily saying the problem is how we got here or the position that we're in. I'm saying, what are we doing to move from here? Says the progress in the movement that is hopefully going to truly hit the West Coast soon. Shit, if you think black people are going to do more on the West Coast, you need to be trying to get out the West Coast. They said it's a choice. If you don't like it, stand up, push back. Black people got scared. They came through and locked up the Black Panthers members and mental institutions and jails. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, anyway, I pretty much, like I said, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say in my video. Like I said, we could sit here and complain about it all day, but you know, if you ain't doing anything, it's just a matter of time before somebody's gonna move you off, because you cannot do anything anywhere. Man, peace.